Hi guys, thanks for tuning back into the Diagnostic World video. In this video we're going to be covering a topic which I think is kind of like a bit of a misconception within the automotive diagnostic world, and maybe just sort of people's understanding of how these the diagnostic tools work. This is a diagnostic tool and we're currently in an Audi, but the procedure I'm going to show you is really the same for any Audi, VW, Seat or Skoda. And we get a lot of questions by, or a lot of sort of emails by potential customers and maybe just sort of people who've trying to fix their cars, have got issues with their cars, just basically asking, look at, like, say I've got a check engine light, so I've got an airbag light or an ABS light, but the tool I've got won't reset the problem, won't reset the system, won't reset the warning light. What is the problem? Is the tool faulty? Is the vehicle faulty? Is the part faulty? And I think it's if we follow it through methodically, you'll probably understand sort of exactly how these systems work. These tools are not magic pills, okay? So like I say, it's a bit of a misconception that you can just buy one of these tools, plug it into your vehicle and reset the warning light without doing anything, without fixing the fault at all. And I'm going to show you a couple of examples here, okay? So this is the VORS version 1.0 tool in an Audi. I'll pop the link to this kit in the description below this video because there are clones, there are fakes out there in the market. They can damage your vehicle, so it's always worth going down the genuine route. Use the link below, it'll take you to the genuine and official product, okay? But if I was to sort of give you an answer as to why your warning light won't turn out, first of all, look at the tool, okay? Let's say in this particular case we've got an airbag light right there. Does the tool have airbag capabilities, okay? Can it cover the airbag system? There are very cheap diagnostic code readers on the market. They won't cover the airbag system, they won't cover the ABS, they won't cover anything other than the engine system, okay? So that's well worth noting if you are thinking about buying your first diagnostic tool. You're best off with getting a tool which has capabilities like this, which covers engines, airbags, ABS, transmission and all of the other systems within your vehicle, okay? So that's the first thing to consider. The second thing to consider is, okay, well, let's have a look at the check engine light, for example. We use the check engine light first as an example, okay? So we've got a check engine light, we haven't done anything to fix this problem, right? We've just simply plugged the tool in for the first time, we don't know what the issue is. So we're going to use the tool now, we're going to go through and diagnose the fault. So we can just put the VIN number in, it automatically finds the VIN number, finds the vehicle, and it gives, oh no, I want to come out of that. That's not good. Right, I want to pause it there because it's found two faults on the engine system, which is exactly where we want it to be actually. So we're looking at the engine system now, we're going to go in and find the faults, okay? First one, O2 sensor heater, bank 1 sensor 1. Second one is a bit of a communication issue. Don't worry about that, it's this one that we need to look at, okay? Anything with the U code, don't worry about it. P codes, it's giving us the fault of the bank 1 sensor 1 O2 sensor. So that's why the check engine light is on, and we haven't done a single thing to fix this problem, right? But we're going to try and erase the fault code and try and erase the check engine light, okay? So if we do this, we go clear fault memory, okay, the check engine light has gone. You'll think, great, fantastic. We'll go back into read fault codes. This time the U code's gone, but it's still giving us that fault code, okay? And this is kind of what people will experience. So they think, oh great, check engine light, it has gone, that's good. So let's say a few stops and a few starts down the line, we're going to stop the engine. Let's say we're pulled up to the shop, we'll come back in from the shop, we're going to start the car again, start the engine, check engine light has still off. Then we're going to the next shop, we're going to visit our gran, we've come back from visiting our gran, and the check engine light is back on, okay? So depending on the vehicle, it does like a couple of cycles. Sometimes it might just not turn off at all because it's saying, hang on a second, you haven't fixed anything here, I'm not turning that engine light off. Sometimes it will allow you to do the reset and then do a few cycles of the diagnostic system and then come back on like it has here, okay? So it's exactly what we've got. Read fault code, the fault is still there, okay? That's because we simply haven't fixed the fault yet, okay? In any case, new O2 sensor will fix that problem. All right, so that's that particular issue, and that's a prime example of what kind of happens. In a different example, I can show you, we've got the airbag light. We have fixed the airbag light, okay? So we'd previously off screen, we diagnosed the airbag system. We found a loose connection underneath the driver's seat actually. So it was pretty easy to pop back in. So we popped that back in, but the airbag light is still showing on the dashboard. So we need to go in, we need to find the airbag system, and we'll attempt a reset on this one, okay? This is because we have fixed the fault. So we'll go airbag, read fault code. So that's the fault code we were getting. And then we're going to go clear fault memory, okay. And the airbag light will hopefully turn off. There we go. So the airbag light has turned off, but we could be in the same situation as we were previously, whereby a few cycles and it'll come back on. Well, let's test that out, okay? So we'll stop the engine. We're now going in to visit our mum and dad. Now we're coming back in. Airbag light has gone off again. Oh, but I need to go to the shop again because I forgot my my cornflakes. So we'll come out. And now we'll come back in. Airbag light is off, but the constant here is the check engine light. So that just shows you a comparison of how the warning lights and the systems will work if you have fixed the fault physically versus not fixed the fault. There are some circumstances whereby you may be able to reset a warning light and having not done any work. It's very rare, but I would say that maybe it could be like a sporadic or an intermittent fault, which is like kind of like being a quick flash and everything's back to normal. Sometimes if you do that and you can try your luck, it's always worth trying your luck to see if it will reset the fault without actually fixing it, then of course great, but the chances are if it's happened once it'll probably happen again, so you'll have the tool and you'll be ready for it, okay? But that hopefully gives you a couple of answers as to why the warning light won't turn off in your vehicle. There is one more situation as well, whereby let's say you've got the right tool, you have fixed the fault, but it's still not showing as working. It's still not, the warning light's still not going off. Probably a situation like that probably means it hasn't been, like the sensor or whatever you're doing hasn't been connected together properly. There's a wiring fault within that new part, or it could be that the part itself is just not up to the job. It could be a used part which isn't functioning properly, or it could be an aftermarket part, could be a really poor Chinese made part. And believe it, we've seen it a lot whereby there's been cheap aftermarket parts from China which they say they'll do everything, and they're an attractive proposition because they're so cheap, but you get them in and they just don't work. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So there is always that, so that's why we always say it's best to go genuine, or indeed make sure it's not a Chinese part if it is aftermarket, which is probably quite hard to find, but there we go, that's just how it is, unfortunately. Always best to go OEM though, and genuine. So I hope that has helped. It's going to be one of those three things. It's going to be not the right tool, it's going to be you haven't physically fixed the fault, or the part you've put in isn't up to the job, or it's not working, right? So I hope this helps, but if you are interested in getting this tool, I'll pop the link in the description below this video. There are fakes, there are clones, as I say, they can damage your vehicle. It's just not worth going down that route, but if you use the link, it will take you directly to the genuine and official product. It covers all VW, Audi, Seat, Skoda vehicles, and a couple of others as well if you're lucky enough to have a Bentley, Bugatti or Lamborghini, and a few commercial vehicles as well. Thanks for watching guys, and I hope it helps.